Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Mr. Firststyle, and today we are going to react to the Whatever podcast with delusional OnlyFans most of the time. But let's see what we have in store today. I'm not actually sure.
The number of premarital sexual partners somebody's had, it's like a direct correlation. The higher that number, the higher the chances of divorce. So to give you an example, a virgin on average has less than 5% chance of getting divorced. Somebody with more than 10 sexual partners on average, 50% chance of getting divorced. That's a big deal. And this is for both sexes. That's a big deal. So if you're somebody who really cares about marriage and you don't want to get divorced, especially as a man, because men get absolutely
Oh my God, that lady's nose.
You want to ask those questions. And so I was very upfront with her. I was like, this is why I'm optimizing for marriage. This is why I care. And it's like, there's different reasons other than that why it matters. It's like if somebody was a serial monogamist, for example, that's different than if they were cheating on their ex-partner, which is different than if they were getting railed at bars all the time. Like you want to know about the person's psychology, and when you have that conversation, you can gain insight into like, who are you, how do you approach relationships, and if you care about marriage, you can gain valuable information there.
Annie, it looked like you had something to say.
Because I must be an anomaly.
You gotta speak into your mic.
I must be an anomaly because my husband never asked that question.
Well, most guys in your generation don't. Like it's kind of like an our generation thing.
So here's the thing, though.
Pipe down.
Rahab was related to Jesus Christ. So was Tamar.
Huh?
They had some bad mojo before they were with their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to truly be Christ-like, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, I'm not trying to disrespect you, that's not going to matter. Because that person, if you love them, what they've done before does not matter.
So
it doesn't matter. And I'm married 14 years now.
I just want to know if you're
it's just not fair. It's not fair. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
It's not fair.
I hear what you're saying.
What do you mean it's not fair?
Hold on.
Wait, let me say one thing.
It's just not fair.
Life's unfair. The world's unfair.
Love that.
Women curve short dudes because they're short.
Brian, you get a pass because you're not these two dudes.
Wait, what do you mean?
No, so here's the thing.
Because
so
these guys are Christ followers. They're supposed to have grace for women in all areas.
Just because we're Christian doesn't mean we have to marry prostitutes.
They can have preference. I'm not telling you guys to do that.
Everyone can have preference.
You know what? Rahab was redeemed by a spy. I just preached on this at a church on Sunday. She was redeemed by a spy that cared enough for her when the walls came down at Jericho to take her out of that lifestyle.
But isn't that the exception to the rule?
Yeah.
And when you look at your lifestyle, even you say maybe I'm the exception. Yes, girl,
You
are
are.
the
You're
exception.
the
Look at the
exception.
upbringing that you had, and look at everything that you.
I want him to expand his mind and not be so judgmental.
All right, so hold on.
It's not judgmental. It's not delusion. It's not insecurity. It's the same thing as women wanting a tall guy. We want girls that haven't slept around.
Possibly love.
My mind is fully expanded. I will not marry a prostitute.
I'm
So-
not saying that they're still doing it.
Annie,
It's,
may
you
I
know,
please respond to
you know.
everything that you just said? Okay. There is room for Christ-like love, and there is also room for wisdom and discernment in terms of who you are entering a marital contract into. Okay, you can forgive someone for their past. Someone can have a past.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you're obligated to marry them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I'm having a conversation with a woman and she has a past, but she regrets her past and she's repentant of it. Let's say, you know, maybe she had like a bad pattern in her past. Maybe she, you know, was looking for love in all the wrong places, something like that. And she developed a habit of sleeping with men too easily or something. Like that is something that a person can learn from, and there's also absolutely room for Christ-like forgiveness for something like that. There's no question. You know, everybody can be made new again in Christ. Okay? Why I would care though still as a man is because I want to know what happened there, because if I'm going to get married to you, unless we're signing a prenup or something like that, like I need to know, who are you? How do you approach relationships? I can have forgiveness for your past, but how do you approach relationships? Because here in America, we've got no fault divorce. Is there something there that might lead you one day to just decide you want to divorce me and absolutely screw me and take my kids and half my income and everything like that? Is there something that could be lurking there? Because if there is, I want to know about it, you know? I'm not obligated to marry a woman with a past. If I'm entering into a contract with somebody, I want to know who I'm entering into that contract with. But you can still love them and forgive them. What'd you say?
You don't have to be a prostitute to do that and divorce someone and take all their money. Okay, there's plenty of
Exactly.
women that do that.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
come
there
on,
are.
man.
There are, which is, and most people nowadays are not prudent about who they marry. Most marriages end in divorce. A lot of people just get up in their feelings and they fall in love with somebody and they don't have the really hard conversations. They don't ask the really tough questions, both men and women. A lot of women don't vet men properly for their red flags. A lot of women end up with men who are abusive. Yeah, a man could have had an abusive past. A man could have been a murderer. It's a woman's job to see if that was the case. Because if
I can't stop looking at that one girl right there in the middle with the white who has so much plastic surgery on her face, bro. I can see down her nose. Her eyebrows are fucked. It's too much.
he was a murderer, she can forgive him and have Christ-like love for him. But is she still obligated to marry him? Would it be a good idea?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you just have to open your mind, because what if there is
No,
a
I don't.
person
I
that
don't
you
have
meet,
to open
and
my
I'm
mind.
going to pray that for you, by the way. That there,
you're gonna
I'm
pray for him
I'm
to
gonna pray for him to
marry
run into
this girl?
a woman that's so, he can't handle the attraction he has, and it's so strong that it's actually spiritual too.
Look.
And he's like compelled to marry her.
We're not
Just so
we're not
compelled.
against a Christian marrying a prostitute.
I'm just
you
I'm
can
just
see that in
saying
Hosea.
that
Hosea gets a direct
that's
command
the
from God.
redemption. That's what Christ did for the church.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I
You know, it's
agree.
beautiful, and I cry for this because there is so many women out there, and I'm going to cry for them, that they just want someone to love them and give it.
Okay, then just like don't sleep around, you know. Try like dating a little bit instead of just like spreading your legs for anybody and everybody. I think that's all that they're saying on that side.
You're not owed a
Yeah,
relationship.
you're
I
not.
know,
No
but
one
still,
is.
But
Life
that's
is
why
not fair.
Christ came. So
I don't like all their takes on this.
we can all
I
be
guess-
redeemed.
I guess that's why maybe it could kind of
I
suck.
fight for
is
the
like-
girls. That's all. I fight.
That's fair. That's fair, and I respect that. I respect
Because I
that.
know their hearts.
You're-
they'll
you're-
give their
Wait,
shirt
Everything.
off their back.
They'll give you everything.
Annie, I want
They'll
to.
give their shirt off their back, and they give their heart more than once. Trust me, and that's why.
They might be
And-
great
and-
people,
wait.
but
Yes.
men-
Brian, can I say something really quick?
let me get in one
I'm
thing
emotional
really quick.
because you know what? I'm sad that
Annie,
this is
I want to
what
say,
men are
Annie,
thinking
Annie.
right now.
Well, okay, so hold on. Annie,
makes me
Annie,
sad.
Annie, please listen.
Am I wrong for
please,
crying?
Annie,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
listen. Please listen. No, you're not
You
wrong
are.
for crying. Annie, I love the heart that you have for these women, and I love the fact that you are a voice for these women. You listening? Yeah. I love the fact that you're a voice for these women, because I can't imagine, you know, your guys' lives and everything that you've been through. Like, I think it's very valuable that you're speaking up on their behalf, okay? Now, just like you're a voice for those women,
See, no one else is
what I'm trying to do is be
looking at
a
her.
voice for men. And we live in a world where a lot of bad women screw over a lot of good men.
And I understand that. I totally get the Jezebels. I get it.
Okay.
I respect that part. I don't want you guys to get hurt too, but
But
we gotta give each other a chance at some point.
There's no question. We've got to give each other Christ-like chances, but it's also important to be for both sexes to be discerning about who they're getting into relationships with, because there's a lot of broken families out there and a lot of broken marriages, and I want to try and prevent that.
Annie, can I ask you a question? Would you object to a woman not wanting to date a man who's shorter than her?
That's totally different. subject.
No, it is
Oh my
not,
God.
Annie. No,
Totally
it is not.
different.
Well, but can you answer the question? Though? Would you object? Would you object to a woman not wanting to date a man who's shorter than her?
He's saying preference.
I've dated men shorter than me.
Would you object? Okay, let's say Atlas is like, I don't want to date men unless they're over 6 feet tall. Would you say that's wrong, or is she justified in that?
I mean, this has nothing to do with the sexuality
It
part.
has everything to do with
I
it,
mean,
Annie. Is she
for
wrong
me, it
for
doesn't.
wanting that?
For me, it doesn't.
For you,
if
it
he has
doesn't.
muscles, it's on.
Okay. So basically,
It's a
what you're
personal
saying,
preference.
what you're saying is
Yes.
it's not okay for us to have preferences, but it's okay for women to have preferences. That's what you're telling me.
I want someone to buy the champagne.
This has all got to do with redemption and sexuality
Hey,
and
Atlas
mistakes
wants
being
somebody
made.
to buy the
Somebody, if you
Please.
were born short, that's not your fault.
Right, but choosing to be a
People can make mistakes in their life, but they can also choose to continually do wrong, and that is their fault. If somebody chooses to keep doing the wrong thing, that is their fault. If a woman decides, I want to go have sex with 50 men at bars over the next 10 years. Obviously, no woman's consciously thinking that. But if she makes the choice continually to do that, that's her choice. She made that choice.
Basically,
I'm not tricking anybody though. I'm not tricking anyone into marriage. I'm not tricking anyone into
That's
divorce.
not what
I'm
we're-
putting
what?
a price out, and you know, it's a
This lady is lost, bro. She has no idea what she's talking about.
front and guaranteed to give you what you pay for.
And if they
and
want
more.
it, they want it. Is that what you're saying? If they want it, you got
There's
it.
no
If
tricking.
not,
There's no.
that's
There's
fine.
no.
But,
you know,
but
That's
this
what
is
you're gonna
this
look
is
like.
the thing.
honest.
Yeah.
This is the
I'm
thing
honest.
that's
But it's not a contract for
That's what you're gonna look like, ladies. If you keep getting lip filler and plastic surgery and Botox, bam, that lady in the white right there. That's what you're gonna look like.
relationship.
Okay, this is the thing though,
Yes.
is that when men have preferences, standards, and boundaries, for example, not wanting to date a woman who's
If he has that stuff, he's insecure. If he has those things, then he's in the wrong. He's childish and he needs to get over himself. Right,
has a
women?
promiscuous past, not wanting to date a woman who was engaged in sex work in her past or currently, it's, I mean, to me, it's shocking that it's somehow that you can
Hard to
I just
understand.
feel like
Yeah.
we shouldn't have
Yeah.
to explain it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand.
I get
nobody.
it. It's a
No,
defense
hold on,
of, like,
no. Let me finish. Let me
Okay.
finish. People always have issues with male standards, male preferences, male boundaries, but nobody bats an eye when a woman says, "I want X, Y, Z in a partner." Women are allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries.
Men are not,
aren't.
no.
If a woman says, "I want to date a guy who's tall," cool. If a guy says, "I don't want to date a woman who's overweight," whoa, you're fat shaming. That's body shaming. You're discriminating. Men's preferences are discriminatory. Women's preferences are preferences. It happens to be the case that men
What's up with that, huh? Drop a like and a comment if you agree or disagree. I would love to know. Let's get a dialogue started. Let's get a conversation, okay?
care about a woman's past, promiscuity. So
It's
It's
literally,
just like-
it's literally
Men are
like
allowed
the
to sleep
equivalent.
with as many
hold on,
women as
hold
they
on,
want,
hold on,
and
hold on.
women aren't.
This is like this conversation.
Yes, that's true. There's a double standard. There is. Men are allowed to sleep with women as much as they want to, and it's considered to be an achievement, cool thing because it's harder for men to have sex than it is for women. Women can go out and have sex with a bunch of different guys every single day of the week because it's not hard for women necessarily to have sex. I'm speaking in generalities. It's a double standard, and it's one of the ones that it doesn't affect you, it doesn't benefit you. That's why you don't like it.
Conversation is like the equivalent of saying, okay, so a man's like, yeah, I don't want a woman who's a prostitute. This is basically the same as if a woman was like, I don't want a guy who has gotten drunk and beaten up his girlfriends in the past. You could have grace for a man's past, but if you as a woman don't want to be with a guy who's beaten women in the past, that's your choice and you're justified in that.
I don't care if a man doesn't want a woman that was a prostitute. I don't care.
You
That
don't.
doesn't bother me.
Annie does.
Yeah, we're not talking directly to you. It's like
It doesn't bother
she's
me.
looking around like there's nobody else here. It's just me.
What it bothers me is that we pass judgment on women for sleeping with a lot of men, but women don't get to pass that judgment on men.
Women
that's the problem.
absolutely
No,
get
that's
to
the problem.
pass that
That's the
judgment.
problem.
They
Well, what-
absolutely get to pass that judgment.
both
Yeah,
men and
absolutely
women
can.
both men and women make judgment calls about potential partners.
And you know what? And that makes the world go round.
I'm sure you like
That makes the world go round. Okay, but men pass judgment on the girls at the Bunny Ranch
Sure.
every single day on race, color, size.
so you'll date anybody. You have there's no discernment at all when
I'm
it comes
on
to
this
who you
show to
date.
figure out how to date. Hello.
But okay, so you just
Okay.
okay, all right, okay.
You're out of the dating
We don't
pool,
know
sweetie.
what we're doing.
Here we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon.
Guys, I just don't understand why people can't just love.
I'm just
I
getting
think
bashed. I can't
you guys
even
aren't
figure out
saying
how to
that,
date.
that you guys
Why
do
can't-
think
why
everyone
can't
deserves
women-
love.
why-
It's just
you-
not
you
your
said-
preference.
Well, you're saying you can love a prostitute without marrying her.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's the point. We don't want you to marry us. We want you
Well,
to take
she
you
Glad
did.
someone did because
But
but
Jesus
you
was
are
born.
also saying that a pro-
This other lady is completely saying the opposite of what everybody was saying before. She's going completely against it.
prostitute, if the
home,
guy is
okay?
okay with it, she still deserves love and marriage. If
Hey,
somebody,
yeah. If a guy wants
if
to,
a guy's okay
more
with
power
it,
to him.
yeah, it's
If
just
a guy's
you
okay with it-
personally or not.
well, I think we're also saying here most men are also probably going to have an issue with it.
Not even religious
what?
guys. I think it's like a biological and
Yeah, you can-
psychological
I mean-
reaction. Like
Yeah.
take religion completely out of the picture, and most guys would still have the exact same feeling because it's biological
logical and it's psychological.
All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that episode. We'll do more of those if you like and comment, all right?